che le uguali non si trovano, viene al Canada, viene al Canada, viene al Canada.
Mutter, es hungert mich, geht mir Brot, sonst sterb ich. Warte nur, mein liebes Kind, morgen wollen wir irrten geschwind. Und als das Korn geerntet war, rief, das geht noch immer dar. Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich, gib mir Brot, sonst sterbe ich. Warte nur, mein liebes Kind, morgen wollen wir dreschen geschwind. Und als das Korn gedroschen war, rief, das geht noch immer dar. Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich, gib mir Brot, sonst sterbe ich. Warte nur, mein liebes Kind, morgen wollen wir backen geschwind. Und als das Brot gebacken war, lag das Kind auf der Totenmauer.
Good. How old are you? How old are you?
What?
How old are you?
25.
25. Wonderful. It's a wonderful song. I suppose I should talk like this because you can't hear me mumble, can you? Sorry. Is this a happy song or a sad song?
Sad song.
Yeah. Yes, it's a sad song. Kind of a fateful song. How many people are in it?
2. 3.
Why 3?
The one who tells the story.
The narrator. The narrator and the mother. The narrator who's observing this thing, and the mother, and the child. And the child is rather desperate, right? Mm-hmm. And the mother, is the mother kind or not kind? Is the mother, huh?
She is kind.
She seems kind, doesn't she? Well, you'd be surprised how many people think that mom's being ambivalent to the child and the ergo the death. And I don't hear that either. What I miss in the song, first of all, I think let's just settle the musical motive. Is actually a thrashing machine. Do you know what a thrashing machine is? Where the wheat and the chaff and the seed are all separated, and they've got different letters. That's what we're trying to actually create. It's a little easier perhaps with the orchestra, and in the orchestra. And it's very important to know, you especially, the pianist musicians, the difference in the additions, but where we can get information from Gustav Mahler is really important. In the orchestra, the tempo indication is 104. And I think that's a pretty good indication for this. This feels a little fast to me. Because what we need, and it's very Schubertian in that sense, what we need is that extra musical environment in which the psychology of the people can shine through. And we don't want to make things with our voice, but it's very important for us to hear an essential difference, especially between mom and the child. Mutter, ach Mutter, es Hunger, gib mir Brot, so sterbe ich. Warte nur, mein Lieb. All without changing tempo, right? Just changing your mind. And this is, I think, really the wonderful thing about, especially Gustav Mahler, but singing songs, is that it reflects so much on how we think of things, right? We sing from our brain. Everything else works as we study it to make it happen the way we imagine it. And the funny thing about support, for instance, is that your imagination as a musician and as a singer, at any age, is stronger than probably your knowledge of how your body functions. So we find people doing all sorts of very strange things because the body's saying, I need energy, I need support, I need anchor to create the sound that this brilliant person is imagining. I think you have a very good imagination. I think you can go farther. I would like to slow it down a little bit, and let's see if we can just imagine that child and sing that child's line exactly the way you want me to hear it. Now, in general, technically, you breathe a little late. It all becomes sort of, warte nur, und hast das Kind, right? And that's not going to do you very well. And that's what I mean about hearing it before you breathe. I haven't thought once about the breath that I need to take. The only thing I'm thinking about today is not to speak too heavy, keep my voice light, and that sort of thing. But other than that, it's out of my imagination, right? We need to have our breathing be that automatic, but you have to pay attention to it. Now, support, that wonderful word that we all love, right, is a really actually simple thing. Support is the physical ability to keep the inhaling muscles active while the exhaling goes on, which means we don't go, Mutter, ach Mutter, like a tube of toothpaste, right? Mm-hmm. We keep that, which you do pretty well. You do pretty well. But if you would just add on top of that, I'm going to sing Mutter and not Mu. Mm-hmm. Do you hear the difference? Yes. Inevitably, you're going to speak it if you do it the way I just did it. And that's going to make you tired, right? So you want to hear the sound, breathe into it, prepare. All of that happens like this, right? Let's start again. Daga 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 diga daga 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 diga daga 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 dam. Daga 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 daga. Okay, one more time. Now we got the tempo settled down. No faster than that. And breathe early. You don't have to breathe demonstratively, but breathe in your nose. I get asked all the time, do I breathe more in my nose or my mouth? The answer is yes. Never not both. It's a carburetor. Good. You did something fantastic, which I want to. That's exactly. Just before, because you want to be the sympathetic son. So you went. Mo.
Okay.
Mutter. Dann kommt Mama. Right? Stay there.
Okay.
And also, if you start moving around, I mean, we do move around. We can move around. That's not the point. The point is to know that you're moving around. Mutter, ach Mutter. Right? One more time.
Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich, gib mir Brot, sonst sterbe ich.
Can we try some? Let's just go. Hung, 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 hung. You have a wonderful cheekbone here, and you use it wonderfully. What I would like is a little bit more space in here, right? Lifting in here. Always keep that lift, right? And I applaud that you use your lips very well for your. Don't push your voice down in there. Let the voice be here and go back and go up in your head. Mo, 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 ta, mo. You know what I mean? So try just right. Don't. It sounds completely ridiculous. Just do it for me. Dong, 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 dong.
Dong, 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 dong.
Now, feel my mouth. Dong, 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 dong. Does anything move?
Dong, 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 dong.
Dong, 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 dong.
Dong, 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 dong.
Lang, 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 lang. Motach, motach.
Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich.
You feel that lift in there? That should be in all the time. Otherwise, it'll start collapsing. Mutterach, mutter, mutterach, mutter. Keep this nice and open, right? And focus here. One more time. Let's get the son first. And he's quite desperate. So he's not asking. It's like, Mommy, if you have a minute, please. It's, you know, I'm dying of hunger here. You know. Right? Breathe, nose and mouth. Right up here.
Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich. Gib mir Brot und sterbe.
Okay, now stop. Now, Mom's going to say what?
Wait.
Warte nur. And a very beautiful line, like a cello, right? Is that how you're going to sing it? You're a mezzo, right?
Yes.
How warm can you make warte nur, mein liebes Kind? Can you just do that? Do donga, donga, donga.
Donga, donga,
Can you
donga.
feel that the NG is up here and not here? It's not dongi, donga, 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 hanga, 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 hanga.
Donga,
I feel, what I hear you doing is putting it in your nose. I don't want to do that. It's behind the nose. It's not hanga, 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 hanga. Hanga, 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 hanga. Warte nur,
mein liebes
Okay, now,
Kind.
give me the first line of the child. Mutter. Here, think child. Mutter, ach,
Mutter, ach Mutter,
Here, mother.
warte nur, mein liebes Kind.
Now you're using your voice to tell the story. And that's what people pay for. They want to know your story. They couldn't care less about all the stuff that we do. They want to hear a pretty voice. Most people, if they like what a voice sounds like, say, oh, what a wonderful singer. Wrong. Maybe, right? But that's not what we do. What we do is recreate human experiences in a language called music, right? And that requires our imagination. So let's see if we can just get those right next to this. So let's start again. Hear me.
Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich. Gib mir Brot und sterbe.
No, sorry, just one. Give me a Brot, sonst Brot. Same resonance. Give me a Brot, sonst Don't drop down, right? Let it all, your voice is all one column, right? And sounding at different levels, at different heights of it, right? Give me a Brot. Don't reinvent your voice. Sonst sterbe ich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One more time.
Mutter, ach Mutter, es hungert mich. Gib mir Brot und sterbe.
Now think mother. Long bow.
Warte nur, mein liebes Kind. Morgen wollen wir Hirten geschwind.
Morgen war. Let the go where the O is. Otherwise we wolle. All of this height. Sing your cheekbones.
Okay.
I don't know how often I say that, right? Everything else is flesh. It'll follow that. You keep this lift in space. I think that, and I want to hear you sing something else as well. I think that, do you speak German?
No.
Okay. This is, when we sing languages, When we sing languages we don't speak, sometimes we get caught in chasing the words, right? And that's fine, that's natural. You know, language is built out of properties of how the language functions. And essentially in singing, you know, a vowel is a vowel. The principal difference between singing and speaking is that when we speak, we separate vowel sounds with consonants. What consonant at what speed determines the language? The vowel remains constant. And in singing, we sing the consonants with the vowels and emulate the language that it comes from. That's why it is perfectly natural, quite wonderful in fact, to sing a language that you don't speak. When you sing a language, it becomes part of a musical property. It becomes part of the musical brain of your brain. It is not the same thing as speaking. In fact, we do not want to speak on pitch. That would not be singing. That would be speaking on pitch. And we hear a lot of that today. It's extremely tiring for the voice, and in my opinion, completely imagineless. It doesn't resonate with me. I want to hear thought in a language called music, right? So if I hear vola, I know that's spoken. For one thing, it's not good vocalism. It's going to tire the voice out. All the vowels, every vowel you sing has every other vowel in it. It's like a CD changer. That example is not going to work very much longer. I don't know. Does anybody know what a CD is? God, have you ever heard the word cassette player? Have you? Wow. How about mini CD? That went by. The Walkman mini CD player. How many knew that one? Yeah, oh my gosh. How about an 8-track player? How about a reel-to-reel? How about two rocks slapped together? You know, I mean, unbelievable. We move so fast. Wonderful. Okay, so what I mean is that if I sing, regardless of me sounding like a tired Mercedes, right? But you hear that everyone, if I sing, that's spoken.
Okay.
And I'm holding that, right? That's what I mean about singing. Let it all be in this resonance, right? And let it have room. Your voice wants more room than you're allowing it right now. You've got it captured right down here, and I think that's because in this song you're chasing the German, right? Your German is fine. There's a few things we could work on, but that doesn't bother me. What I'm concerned is that you don't get into a habit of singing words on pitches. So, Mutter, gib mir Brot, sonst sterbe ich. Gib mir Brot, sonst sterbe ich. That's going to make you very tired, isn't it? Okay. All right? So one more time. But it's most important with something when we decide to change our mind from mother, that you just let the vowels roll. And the whole phrase is essentially on ahs and oohs. Mm-hmm. And the child's phrases are all essentially on e's and a's. Yeah. Right? And the more you can find that, then the actual ballad character or something like this comes about. Right? And I think this is wonderful stuff to it's why I love to teach songs, because I think for young people to get the connection between musical language, musical thought, telling a story, inhabiting different characters, right on the, as they would say playing a violin, right on the bow, right? This is what songs are so good about. They're the immediate expression of who we are. Once you get into the opera tapestry, you're painting large emotions in context of a character that sings songs. Micro and macro, and they fit together. There's no difference. It's just a different way to approach it. And working on a ballad like this, especially ballads, and the Schubert ballads, the Schumann ballads, ballads are wonderful because they require our imagination. They require us to not gimmick our voices, but let our voices reflect different characters and thoughts, which is what I think good singing is. I want to hear people think when they sing. I really just don't want to sit and have somebody roll some gorgeous sound over me. I'm a vocal fetishist like anybody else. I want gorgeous sound. I want it all. I want Pavarotti, on that end of the spectrum. I mean, did you ever not understand a word the man sang? It's unbelievable. Nobody ever talks about that. Of course it was the most God-given voice of the 20th century. No question about it. Done. Finished. But I never not understood a word he sang. And I stood next to him. You know, how lucky is that? You know? Well, as next as anybody could be. It's a wonderful story. Pavarotti was tumbling down Broadway in New York, and a young student bumped into him, and he was horrified. He said, "Oh, maestro, oh my God, excuse me, I didn't see you there." And Pavarotti said, "That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me." All right, one more time. Give me the kid and give me the girl. And it's all going to be because you hear it and breathe into it before you sing it. Okay? Sweetheart, I just think that's too late. I'll sing with you. Two.
Mutter, es hungert mich, gib mir Brot, so sterbe ich.
Good.
Warte nur, mein liebes Kind, morgen wollen wir irrten geschwind.
Okay, it's a good path. We're getting there. Do you want to just sing some melancholy of Schumann, didn't you? Let's have a little bit of that. You know, I'm not a composer, but if I hear the word melancholy and I look at this text, that's about the last musical language I would come up with. Isn't that bizarre? This belongs to a set of songs, doesn't it?
It what?
This belongs to a set of songs,
Yeah.
the Opus 74?
Yeah.
Who's the poet? Geibel. And how many, I'm reaching back here, how many songs are in Opus 74? Are they all Geibel?
Half, it's Goethe, half.
I beg your pardon?
Half of them is Goethe.
Aha.
Every song.
Exactly. Well, you know, yeah. And Geibel, we tend to put Geibel was very popular with Wolf and Brahms and the later 19th century composers, and it's sometimes startling to realize that he was around so long and that people were sending Geibel. Geibel was also very famous for his translations of Spanish poetry, but I don't think that's this. This is just pure German stuff. Okay, that's interesting information. With Schumann, very close to Mahler, with Schumann, it is really so much about the musical language and as piano songs, more than the text declamation. This song is hugely challenging because of its tessitura, obviously. Right? And those movements don't seem to me to be very melancholy, as we use the word today. Which means you need to find that. Wann erscheint der Morgen? If you just, and that's a descending line. If we just understand that, then we're already in the world of melancholy. That helps. Wann denn, der mein Leben lässt aus diesen Banden, Morgen und Banden, right? You have to find with your voice. Do you like this poem? And you know it well in your heart, right? Do you find it melancholy? More tragedy, right. So I think you have to take Geibel at his word, that he didn't want the tragedy, right? I think Schumann was responding to some of the tragedy as well. When we see, wann kommt der Morgen und wann wird mein Leben von dieser Banden befreit? Those are big, big thoughts. But you have to sing it to us, you have to sing it for us, not to us, for us, for the reason he's sighing out of this. And I think if you they're like big sighs. They're like big how is this going to work, right? Can we just try that, right? Don't chase words. I feel like I'm not really getting you to on my wavelength, and it's my problem, not yours. That the voice moves and sings because of vowels, right? And we sing through the consonants and bind the vowels in the way that the language is built, right? So getting too caught up in here, the voice coming down to some place that you've got to rein in, is not what I want you to do. I want you to keep the string on the bow, if you will, or the bow on the string. That would make probably more sense, right? Let's start again. What is that? Bom, 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 ba-dim, ba-dim. There's a theme that's like in there. Bom, bom, di-dim, da. It is a Brahms song. I think it's Ferrat or something like that. You also have to play this melancholy. This whole thing can become sort of Egmont overture all of a sudden, and I just don't think we want to do that, right? The sforzandi and the double forzandi. You're playing it exactly what's written, but we've got this damn title, melancholy mit Affekt, aber nicht schnell, whatever that means. All right.
So without sforzando, or maybe only.
I think you have to. My point is that sforzando is a sforzando, is not a sforzando. What's the reason? If it's a sforzando inside of melancholy, if this wrote tragedy bis zum Lebenende, then that sforzando would have a different sound.
Okay.
Let's try and find more pain. Fantastic. When you sang this phrase, you're this last aus diesem Band, because it's high, because it's how your voice works. This was wonderful. You were open to everything else. And then it becomes banden, banden. This thing about the dong, 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 and not moving the jaw and so forth. Guys, do you work for the IPA here, the International Phonetic Alphabet, when you learn languages? You know, the sort of the Rosetta Stone, this symbol means all this in whatever language it is. That's hugely important. Go back to it and take yourself a voice lessons. Look at the dentals. What does a dental mean? All the dental consonants do not require movement of your jaw. Da, ta, na. M, yes, you have to move your mouth. But the N, D, and T, you don't have to move a thing. Banden, right? And just look at yourselves in the mirror when you're working on stuff like that and just slow it way down. What do I actually need to move to say, to give the word its character, to give the word its due, and yet not interrupt the vocalism? Ba. Now, if I had to say Baman, I would go ba, and I would want to make sure that I didn't go bam, and I would want to lift it. I would want to keep the bam, but we have ban. There's no reason. In fact, the N is your best friend. Ban. You see what I mean? Ba, and you kind of, the songs and you are being sung rather than you singing them.
Okay.
And you have the vocalism, you have the thoughts. You can do this. It's a matter of just getting inside of your head and going, aha, oh, that's how that works, right? Because right now you're chasing everything, is all slow, and when you chase this way in your voice, this collapses. You've got a good stature in I know you're in it and you're settled down and so forth, but believe me, bon. The way you sing it collapses.
Okay.
Can we just do that phrase one more time? Because I want you, there was so much good about that phrase. Can we just, yes, exactly what you do. When you come down the morgen, even though it's got those little caps on, I'd be very careful not to go, you know, the chest voice and the chest resonance, especially for a mezzo like you, is the door to a cellar. You can open it, but don't go down the steps. Okay? Keep it in the character. There's more depression implied here. Wann kommt ihr morgen? Wann, ihr lasst mich im Bahn. You know what I mean? Okay. How this energy here and on the lips has nothing to do with the space, right? This is the last of the forming of the words. This is good singing. This is a good direction. Now I can sleep better because I feel like we've had a moment together of some value. Is this easier to sing?
Yes.
It's also for us more interesting. We listen to you thinking, right? Along this line, you can do so much on your own with a mirror, you know, just to see what needs and what doesn't need to move. And keeping that sound always resonating, right? Good. Thank you. Wonderful.